Welcome to our video on setting up a bioactive terrarium for a crested gecko. If you've come here from our last video, then you'll have a good idea of everything else that you need from terrariums, heating and lighting, and all of your other components. If you did miss this video and you want to learn more, then the description can be found in the captions below. In this video, we're going to be talking through each stage of setting up a bioactive terrarium and exactly how you can do it yourself at home. We're going to start this video off by talking through what exactly a bioactive terrarium is. For those of you who may not know, a bioactive setup simply means that you're creating a self-sustaining ecosystem. It will create a much more natural home for your crested gecko and also keep some cleaning routines to a minimum, as you won't need to clean and substitute your substrate monthly. Once set up and running accordingly, your bioactive terrarium will contain beneficial microorganisms, live plants and a cleanup crew that work together in unison to break down waste and recycle nutrients within your tank. For your crested gecko, this means more stable humidity and a much more natural enclosure to enjoy. And for you, it means that you can create a lovely planted tank like this in your house. Let's talk through step number one in creating your bioactive setup. You're going to need a drainage layer at the bottom of your terrarium. Now this drainage layer should be about 6 to 8 centimeters thick, and this layer will be able to store and hold any excess water within your setup. You can use clay balls or drainage stones for this, and they ultimately help to stop your substrate layer getting waterlogged, but also encourage your live plants to root down effectively. Step number two is to place a membrane or barrier on top of your drainage layer. This will allow water to pass through, but stops your substrate and your drainage layer mixing together. It's a small but essential step in creating your bioactive terrarium. There's plenty of different products you can use for this, and you just need to place this on top of your drainage layer before adding your substrate. Now that this essential step is out of the way, it's time to add your substrate. Now your substrate is your foundations for your bioactive terrarium. Your substrate should be about 10 to 12 centimeters thick, and this is going to be your area where your cleanup crew will thrive and break down any nutrients within your tank, keeping your plants healthy. You should select an appropriate substrate that contains lots of key components and nutrients to help kickstart your bioactive cycle. We actually recommend ProRep's Bioforest Life for this, as this contains lots of essential components and even charcoal, which will help to kickstart your bioactive colonies of springtails and isopods. This takes us nicely into our next topic, which is your cleanup crew. For this, most people opt for using isopods and springtails. Cleanup crew is an essential part of your bioactive setup, as they help to kickstart the cycle within the terrarium. They break down any waste from your animal and help to keep key nutrients within your setup and the substrate layer. They will also provide some enrichment for your crested gecko, as your crested gecko may come down to the layer and eat some of the larger isopods. In order for your cleanup crew to survive the long term within your terrarium, you're going to need to provide it with leaf litter. Leaf litter is there for more than just decoration. It's an essential part of your bioactive terrarium. This leaf litter can be placed on top of the substrate, and it will break down into the substrate layer, providing key nutrients for your plants to be able to thrive, but also provides safe refuge for your cleanup crew to avoid too much predation from the crested gecko, where they also eat this layer so that they're able to thrive and build up their colonies in strength. You can put a whole host of different leaves into your terrarium, and they all do the same job, but we recommend sourcing your leaf litter from a reputable reptile brand rather than going out and picking it yourself, as these leaves may contain nasty pesticides which could be massively damaging for your cleanup crew and your crested gecko. Now that we've covered everything you need at the base of your bioactive terrarium, you're going to want to add your live plants to finish it off. It's important to select plants that are safe for your crested gecko and non-toxic, but also can withstand the high humidity levels within your enclosure. Plants that we recommend are things like pothos, as these grow really quickly and create lots of coverage for your crested gecko within the terrarium, so we'll have your tank looking lovely in no time. We also recommend things like parlor palms, weeping figs, and sansevieria. If you want to add a pop of colour in your terrarium, you can add things like bromeliads, as these can be planted in some of the elevated areas, and these colours make your terrariums look really beautiful. You can also add things like ferns in the bottom of your enclosure for a bit of ground coverage, but these will need to be placed accordingly, as they need to be put into more shaded areas, and we'll need to make sure that you're watering them appropriately. And that is how you create a bioactive terrarium for your crested gecko. From your drainage layer to your substrate, from your cleanup crew to your live plants. Creating a bioactive setup not only looks beautiful, but it creates a really naturalistic environment for your crested gecko. We hope that this video has been useful for you, and if you do have any other questions, please do pop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for future videos on crested geckos on our channel.